We're here in the theater with Steve Spiegel, President and CEO of Theatrical Rights Worldwide. Mr. Spiegel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to share with you my experiences in school theater.
Tell our viewers more about TRW.
Absolutely. We are a licensing agency that acts on behalf of authors and rights holders of musicals in making the performance rights, the live stage performance rights, available to organizations both here in the United States and around the world to put on those shows, to be producers in their own theaters with their own casts, their own musicians, and to basically adopt the live stage rights to these beloved musicals, Broadway, off-Broadway, regional, for use in their own communities.
One of the most interesting things about Changing Minds is that normally shows go from Broadway and trickle down into smaller theaters, but Changing Minds is the exact reverse of that.
Correct, and if I can go a little, I'll answer that with two stories. The first is that the protocol for whether it's a play or a musical is the authors try to identify a commercial producer. By commercial, that is a highest level producer whose objective is to bring the show into New York City, Broadway or off-Broadway. So the path that most plays and musicals would take would be to have writers either be in touch with or be found by a producer, get the show done regionally, grow so that it could go into New York City, have a life on Broadway or off-Broadway, and then as the licensing afterlife part of the process, we would evaluate whether that show had value in the school environment, in the community theater environment, in the professional dinner theater, domestic, international, foreign languages, and then we would bring that into the catalog and release those rights into those types of theater venues, which could be several years of a process. It could be 2 or 3 years of development, X number of years running in New York City, Broadway or off-Broadway, and then there would be a rollout plan that would go to the professional level of theaters first, and then down the various levels until it reached the schools, perhaps even the middle schools or elementary schools, which could be maybe over a 10-year period of time. Right. And that's the normal protocol, and it's perfectly fine, and it's the way that most authors approach their work. In the case of Changing Minds, about 4 years back, I was at a workshop of new writers who were interested in how they could attach their work to producers and go on the path into New York. And there were hundreds of writers in the room, and of course, they all wanted to submit their show, and they all felt that their show, and these were musicals, which is my specialty, they all felt that they had a product that was ready for that opportunity. But I don't produce, I license. I take something that's already been on the stage and bring it to life after that initial production, except for Changing Minds. So what happened there was these two amazing writers who live in California were, one of the songs that was done at this workshop was from a different show that they wrote called Falling for Eve, which is an Adam and Eve musical. And I listened to this song, and like all of us, we know when something appeals to us. And this appealed to me. I said, these guys can write. I want to meet them. And lo and behold, they wanted to meet me. And they came up to me at the end of this panel, and we had a 5-minute conversation in which they said the magic words to me: what types of musicals do you need for your catalog? And the answer is a musical that works for the schools.
So in your collaboration with Mr. Howard and Mr. Simmons, you also collaborate with Mr. Bluestein, who is doing the production here at the PPP.
Correct.
And you saw the run-through last night. What were
Correct.
Some of your feelings and opinions about the run-through?
You get a sense, and I deal with maybe 15,000 schools, you get the sense immediately when you speak to a artistic person at the school, whether it's the drama teacher, the music teacher, of the caliber of program that they run, the musicals that they select over the years, the way they approach those shows, the way they pay attention to all aspects, that it's not only about the students on the stage, it's about the lighting and the sound and the costuming and the set design and the advertising and marketing. And so when you see a program that is such a wonderful representation of the way it should be done, you're excited when you have the opportunity to bring a new property to to the school. So last night, to me, reinforced several things. It reinforced my faith in Mr. Bluestein and this program. It reinforced the special way that a musical creates a family. The people involved in the show become a subset of their own community within the school. They walk a little taller. They share a lifetime memory, and although I'm a big sports person and I certainly played sports in school, you don't win or lose. It's a much different conclusion to the process. I think it's a conclusion that allows for a keepsake, a part of your life that you always reflect on, hopefully in a very positive, fun way. And I think that what I saw last night, given that this was me instructing Mr. Bluestein to do something out of the ordinary for the school, to look at doing a fall musical instead of a spring musical, and giving him about 2 days notice that I really wanted this done now because I want this new musical available for the spring of 12. And I think that everything that I asked him was atypical of the way that the school approaches a musical. So what I saw last night, I was greatly impressed. I was very happy. I was extremely pleased. I think everything from the casting was exactly matching to what the voice of each character was. I thought that the choreography was awesome. I thought that it captured the energy and the moment in the storytelling. And I felt that, you know, I know there's still a month away from those first weekend of performances, but it was not about first finding out how to do anything. I think it's now about just refining what's already there. And so I was very, very happy.
Well, Mr. Spiegel, we're out of time, but I want to thank you so much for your insight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Right now, we're going back to the choral room to hear a performance from Changing Minds. Enjoy.